All right, so have you ever noticed how some sentences just feel really direct and punchy, while others seem a bit more, I don't know, formal, maybe even a little distant? Well, a lot of the time, that all comes down to one thing: the active versus the passive voice. Today, we're going to totally demystify this common grammar puzzle. And trust me, there's a simple switch that makes it super easy. Let's dive right in. Okay, so take a look at these two sentences on your screen. On one side, we have John eats an apple. Simple enough. And on the other, an apple is eaten by John. Now, think about it. They're saying the exact same thing, right? But they feel completely different. In that first sentence, John is the hero of the story. But in the second one, suddenly the apple is the star of the show. The whole focus just shifts. So what's really going on here? What's the magic trick? How does this switch actually work? And I guess more importantly, why should you even care? Well, let's break it all down. Okay, first up is the active voice. This is basically the normal sentence structure we all use every single day without even thinking about it. You've got the subject, the person or thing doing the action, right at the beginning. So in our example, the subject, John, performs the verb, eats, on the object, an apple. Subject, verb, object. Simple, direct, gets the job done. Now, let's flip it or look at the passive voice. All we're really doing here is shifting the focus. The spotlight moves away from the person doing the action and shines right on the thing that's receiving it. The object gets to be the star of the sentence for a change. And you know what the best part is? There's a super simple, kind of mechanical process to make this switch happen perfectly every single time. And here it is, the secret sauce, the 4-step switch. This is literally the key that unlocks the whole thing. So step 1, you're going to switch the subject and the object. Step 2, you add a form of the verb to be. Step 3, you change that main verb to its third form. And finally, step 4, you just add the word by. Sounds almost too simple, right? Well, let's put it to the test and see if it works. Okay, so let's go back to our simple sentence. Step 1, switch the subject and the object. So John and an apple trade places. That gives us an apple eats John. Whoa, okay, that's not right, and honestly, it sounds like something out of a horror movie. But don't worry, we're not done yet. This is just the very first step. All right, on to step 2. We have to look at the verb in our original sentence, which was eats. That's present tense, right? So we need to add the present tense form of to be, which is. So now our sentence reads, an apple eats John. Still sounds pretty weird, doesn't it? That's because we're still missing a couple of pieces. Okay, moving right along to step 3. We've got our is in there, which locks in that present tense for us. Now we have to take the main verb, eats, and change it to its third form. Like eat, ate, eaten. That third one is the one we want. So our sentence now looks like this. An apple is eaten John. Ooh, we are so close. I can feel it. Just one last little thing to do. And for the final step, the grand finale, we just pop the word by in there, right before our original subject, John. And voila! An apple is eaten by John. See? See how those 4 simple steps just click together to build the perfect passive sentence? It's like a little formula. But I know what you're thinking. John eats an apple, that's way too easy. Yeah, you're right. You're never going to see John eats an apple on a real test. So let's level up. Let's really put our 4-step method to the test with something a little beefier, something more realistic. How about this? Matilda explained the rules and structures of basic grammar. Okay, first things first. Let's break this sentence down into its parts. The subject? That's easy. It's Matilda. The verb? Explained. Now the object. To find the object, you just ask yourself, what did Matilda explain? And the answer isn't just rules. The answer is that whole chunk, the rules and structures of basic grammar. And that's a really important takeaway here. The object can be a big, long phrase, not just one word. All right, you ready to do this? Let's start the transformation. Step 1, we switch the subject, Matilda, with that big, long object. So now we've got the rules and structures of basic grammar explained Matilda. Okay, step 1 is done. Let's keep this train rolling. Now for step 2, adding that to be verb. But wait a second, we have to be careful here. Look at the original verb, explained. That ed ending tells us it's past tense. So we need a past tense form of to be. And in this case, we're going to use were. So why were? Why not was? And this is such a great example of a super important grammar rule. Our new subject is The rules and structures. See that S on the end? That means it's plural. We're talking about more than one thing. And a plural subject always needs a plural verb. So we have to use were, not was. That's a really common trap people fall into, but it's super easy to avoid once you know to look for it. Okay, now we can just cruise through the last two steps. This is the easy part. For step 3, we need the third form of the verb. But look, explained is already in its third form, so that's already done for us. Awesome. And for step 4, we just add by before Matilda. And there it is. The rules and structures of basic grammar were explained by Matilda, our perfect passive sentence. See? The system works, even on the tricky ones. So let's do a quick recap of the game plan. First, always identify your subject, verb, and object. That's step 0. Then, just follow those 4 easy steps for the switch. And remember that one really critical checkpoint. Make sure your to be verb matches 2 things: the tense of the original sentence, and whether your new subject is singular or plural. If you can remember that, you've pretty much got this whole thing down. So there you have it. You officially know the secret. You have the key to flip between the active and passive voice whenever you want. But, knowing how to do something is really only half the battle. The much more interesting question is, when should you do it? When is the passive voice actually the better, more powerful choice